In one lifetime, European Union can go from being 10 times bigger than China to becoming half the size of China. Now, firstly, in terms of why I am absolutely confident that this will be the Asian 21st century, I make 3 points. First, of course, is that from the year 1 to the year 1820, for 1800 out of the last 2000 years, the two largest economies of the world have always been those of China and India. So you can see, therefore, that the past 200 years of Western domination of world history have been an aberration. All aberrations come to a natural end, and that's why it's perfectly natural to see the return of Asia in the 21st century. But the second reason why I'm confident that it'll be the Asian century is that the Asian countries finally woke up and realized, asked themselves a basic question: why did the West succeed? And what can we learn from the success of the West? So, in another book of mine, The Asian 21st Century, I pointed out that the Asian countries are succeeding because they finally absorbed, understood, and implemented 7 pillars of Western wisdom. So I can say this quite honestly, we in Asia are succeeding because we learned from the West, and we should actually thank the West for sharing some of its wisdom. And I'll give you a couple of simple examples. The obvious one is mastery of science and technology. The reason why the West could conquer and colonize the world in the 19th century and 20th century was because they had superior science and technology. Today, the mastery of science and technology still remains strong in the West, but it is also moving very quickly into Asia. And in many Asian scientists are doing better than Western scientists. And this is one example. Secondly, of course, the second Western pillar of wisdom that we've taken full advantage of is a principle of free market economics. And this is a gift, of course, from Adam Smith, the Scottish philosopher. But today, paradoxically, the Asian countries believe more in free market economics than, paradoxically, the United States, which was the country that gave so many of the ideas in support of free market economics, today is a country, especially under Donald Trump, that is incapable of signing a free trade agreement. And the third reason why I'm confident it'll be the Asian century is that there has been, especially because of the successes of the last few decades, an enormous boost in the psychological self-confidence of Asians in different corners of Asia. In fact, today, if you want to meet optimistic young people, don't go to Europe, because many young Europeans feel that they have a bleak future for themselves. They don't believe that they'll have a better future for themselves. By contrast, in many parts of Asia, in China, India, in Southeast Asia, many of the young people believe that their future will be better than those of their parents. So, is an important reason for continuing development. You need to have psychological self-confidence. But having explained why I'm confident to be the Asian 21st century, one lesson I've learned in life is that nothing in life is a smooth road. There'll be ups and downs, and there'll be challenges. And certainly, Asia is going to face lots of serious challenges as we march towards the Asian 21st century. Most of the challenges come from geopolitics. So, for example, even as we are speaking, the US and China have begun a major geopolitical contest. If you look behind my left shoulder, there's a book called Has China Won, in which I describe why the US, the China geopolitical contest will accelerate over the next 10, 20 years, because the United States is conforming to an iron law of geopolitics, which says that when the world's number one emerging power, which today is China, is about to overtake the world's number one power, which today is the United States, the world's number one power will always push down the world's number one emerging power. And so that's what's happening nowadays. And you will see that it doesn't matter whether you have a nice president like Joe Biden or a not so nice president like Donald Trump, makes no difference. The US-China contest will continue because it's driven by structural forces, as I documented, Has China Won. But I also want to emphasize that there are other geopolitical tensions in the region between China and Japan to some extent. There's some discomfort between China and India. There are problems within India and Pakistan. So, there are challenges in Asia, and Asians got to pay attention to these challenges. if they're going to succeed. But having said all that, having talked about the challenges, I'm still remain very optimistic that the Asian regions will do very well because there's a lot of momentum that has developed in Asia in the area of development. Now, everyone knows how much China has developed, and I think everyone should know this statistic. In the year 1980, the European Union's combined GNP was 10 times bigger than China. Today, European Union is the same size as China. By 2050, European Union will be half the size of China. Isn't that amazing? In one lifetime, European Union can go from being 10 times bigger than China to becoming half the size of China. That's an example of how the Asian century is coming. Another example, Southeast Asia, and you all must, if you don't mind, study ASEAN, which is the second most successful regional organization in the world after the European Union. In the year 2000, Japan, which was the second largest economy, was 8 times bigger than ASEAN in the year 2000. Now Japan is only 1.3 times bigger than ASEAN. By 2030, ASEAN will be bigger than Japan. Okay. You see, it's how the growth in Asia is taking place so dramatically. Very why I'm so confident that the 21st century will be the Asian century.
What do you guys think? Do you have anything to add on top of this conversation? Please leave your comment below. We would love to hear from you.
Thank you for making it this far. If you like this video, you might want to share it with a like-minded friend. Thank you, and as always, stay blessed.